I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Sports Talk 305 network is back. It's time to talk Miami Dolphins football with the greatest fan base in the world. EJDconstruction.com is fully insured, liability and workers' comp. Call Eric if you need a custom home builder or general contractor. 305-433-4843. This is the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. Here's your host, the Big O.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There we go. Welcome aboard. Yes. You're in the playoffs. You got it done. It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. We were kind of on the edge of our seats. X-Man looks like he's old and broken down at this point. You know, Jalen Ramsey. You know, somebody was asking me on Twitter, so what do you think about not moving Jalen Ramsey around? And then they burn him for the game-winning touchdown for a moment. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's just kind of funny when the guy brings it up and it's like, You worried about that now, dude? Like they just burned them for the game winner. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but Jason Sanders was very pretty. Jason Sanders, my Lord, Jason Sanders. This is like what you need down the stretch. Jason Sanders finding his mojo? Is that what happened? Because Jason Sanders hit another freaking field goal. It's freaking amazing. It's awesome by Jason Sanders. My Lord. So what do we have now? He hit a 29, a 35, a 52, a 57, and 54-yard field goals. So the 29 and the 35, no biggie, but he hit 3 of the ones that we are terrified of him taking a shot at. Wow, that was good. That was good. That was good. It wasn't, the prettiest thing in the world. It wasn't the cleanest game called by Mike McDaniel. We get all of that. But they won, man. Look at that. Even Alarmo's getting a little excited. He's getting all flustered there. Wow, that was fun. That was fun. I know it was kind of on the edge of our seats, but they got it done. It's let's go macro. This is the 11th win of the season. You have 2 more games remaining. You can make it 12 and 13, which, by the way, those are the 2 that I was deciding between 12 and 13. I ended with 12 as my prediction for the season. So hopefully I'm wrong and they're able to get 13. But wow, that was good. That was good. And it was good for McDaniel, for Tua, for the offense after losing the lead to march down the field. It was good for Jeff Wilson. It was good for everybody. Tyreek obviously made a couple of really nice catches. Tua making a few throws there. Ingold. By the way, Smythe had a really good game today. They used him a lot, which I was really proud of McDaniel for that. I didn't like that he didn't take the field goal early. I think most of us would have like, yo, dude, like you got injury left and right and all that. Just take the points at the moment, and which would have been a whole different ball game right now if you have those points. You know what I mean? It kind of creates a different, situation, overall. But wow, this was one of those where we'll remember this because this is part of becoming a very good to great franchise. It's starting to learn how to win these kind of games. Remember, this is a franchise that doesn't know how to do any of this. So everybody collectively right now is accomplishing things that no Dolphin team has accomplished in decades. So let's not act like we've been here and done it and all that. No, they haven't been here. They haven't done it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that, hey, they got themselves in trouble. They didn't play very well down the stretch with defense. They end up giving up the lead. And then they find the character to, okay, well, it's our ball now. We got a couple minutes left. We got to put a drive together. And they pretty much ended the game. And that, I got to tell you something. That's the way you win it. It couldn't go more perfect than that. Because a lot of times you score and then there's still some time left. And then the other team we saw yesterday, the other team has an opportunity and they march downfield with a couple of seconds left and you just never know what happens. So kudos to the Dolphins in that sense too, that they were able to end the game with that drive and not give Dallas any kind of an opportunity, especially the way the defense was playing. They weren't necessarily stopping them, at that moment. You know what's kind of screwed up about this game? They'll say that, okay, the Cowboys didn't win the moment, just like if the Dolphins wouldn't have won, the Dolphins would have gotten the label. But I got to say, I got to give Dak Prescott credit. I'm not going to say, oh, my God, Dak Prescott's not the reason why you won. He choked like great. He made some plays down the stretch. So it's kind of a shame that he's going to carry that, but he played his ass off today, overall. I mean, I got to give them credit when they deserve it. But kudos to Miami, man. McDaniel, Tua, and company got that final drive to put the nail in the coffin, and it's a really cool thing after losing the lead. Once you lose the lead like that, that's where your character comes through. And do you fold? And you didn't fold, and you found ways to, make plays down the stretch. So I really like that overall. Let me see what we got here. I see all the super chats are coming in. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin donation with Matthew Toffler. Thank you with a Bitcoin donation for Christmas gift for the Finns. Exceptional content. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you. Eric Weiner, thank you for the donation through Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. We get 100% of the donation there. We love the super chats. Don't get me wrong, but, YouTube takes 30%. Eric Weiner says for Sanders for MVP. You are correct, my man. Sanders he was the MVP today. He was the MVP. And for a guy that has had kind of a rough go, okay, I'm happy for him because, it's like Austin Jackson. You fought through all this adversity. You've had such, a rough time, and people have broken your chops a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you find a way to come through. Anthony Lizzie. He comes through big also on Venmo. Thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Jason effing Sanders, Merry Christmas, Big O. Merry Christmas to you, Anthony. And thank you, sir. Appreciate you immensely, man. That was it's very nice of you. Let's start off with the first one you've got there, Sean, because I know we've kind of already with all the text. Let's catch up with some of the super chats quickly here. What do we got? Who's first? Kyle Maxwell. Going to have a heart attack, Big O. Hang in there, Kyle. You cannot have a heart attack, okay? This is the best the franchise has been in decades. You can't have a heart attack, Kyle. I need you here. I need you now. I need you to hang in here with us. We're going to be in the Super Bowl in a few weeks. So hang in there, okay? Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you. Next up, Pedro Farias. Big O, big win. I can't remember the last big win in December. Jason Sanders game ball. Dallas Cowboys came to make a statement and lost. Yeah. And the Cowboys played their asses off, and you got to give them credit. Miami just outlasted them, man. And kudos to our guys. Next up, Vinny Leña. This was the best late game management from Coach Finns for the win. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I agree with that. Overall, I didn't like he didn't, on the last drive where he didn't leave anybody in the backfield and they blitzed his ass and they didn't give Tua a chance at all. That part I hated. And I didn't like that he didn't take the field goal. And there were a couple times where I thought early on he kind of didn't really dedicate himself enough to the running game. But McDaniel had Tua, the O-line, the receivers, the tight end, Ingold, and then Jason Sanders. They were fantastic. And that final drive, they got it done, and they won the game, man. Next up, it is Rand Romero. Should the Cowgirls give up? Well, I give them credit, Rand. I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to give people credit when they deserve it. You know what I mean? I'll have fun and we'll make fun of it and we'll take shots at our own people and all that. But when they deserve it, you got to give them a little love. And the Dolphins just outlasted them, man. Hey, they came back to take the lead after trailing pretty much the whole game. I got to give the Cowboys a little credit there, man. All right, go ahead. Next up. Man of 1,005 holds. Remember how many people wanted Sanders gone. Kickers are hard to come by. Great team, win all around. I'm going to drink some eggnog. Hashtag Sanders time. I'm good with getting rid of Sanders too. I was one of those. I don't mind getting rid of Sanders. You couldn't get rid of him at this point because there's nothing on the street. But this offseason, I was already like, yeah, you got to move on from him. We'll see how he finishes the season. But great day today. Rise Taylor, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Sloppy on offense, and the D gave up big plays in big moments, but we got the job done. We need to do better in Baltimore. Appreciate the work you put in. Merry Christmas to you, Sean, and your families. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Although I fear Dak more than I fear Lamar. I don't fear Lamar's arm. You know? Next up, it is Dolphin Ronnie. Thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. Still a lot to fix, especially on third down, but a W is a W, and I'll take it. 4-minute offense, ran to perfection at the end, and McDaniels has to stop going for that one-on-one jumper play in the end zone. That was just, I don't know why he did that play. The fade to Cedric, it's not something that's perfected by them. Why would you count on it in a key moment? You know what I mean? They connected, but they connected out of bounds. It's just that it's just not there. Next up, Gordon Shumway. Oh, any predictions on how national media will move the goalpost on the Finns and Tua with their criticisms? Gordon, you know what, bro? Local media, national media, you can all kiss my ass when it comes to Tua. Or the Dolphins or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they'll just continue to prove people wrong. Next up, Sean. John C., Merry Christmas. Thank you, John C. Merry Christmas to you on behalf of Sean and myself and our families. To yours, John. Merry Christmas, sir. Next up, Clee Torres. Thank you for the love in the super chat, sir. Feliz Navidad to all Dolphins. Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Clee Torres. Very nice of you. Next up. It is? Okay, good. Let me go to Cash App or Venmo. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. Ray Martinez, thank you for the big love on Cash App, sir, for wow. Let's go Ravens next. Yes, Ray, I agree with you. Ravens next, my brother. And I am not worried about the Ravens. Stephen M., Steve, thank you, sir. He says, for reserving negativity tonight, Merry Christmas. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you immensely, sir. On Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Lisa, thank you for the love on Venmo. I certainly did not have Sanders 5 for 5 on my bingo card for the win. Fins way up, baby. We're in, yes. And we'll be in Vegas soon, Lisa. Soon we'll be in Vegas. It's a week closer to Vegas for us now. Adam Pink, sir. Thank you for the love as always on Venmo, sir. Oh, I hope it isn't hyperbole that this was one of the best Dolphin wins in 25 years. It was. It's the truth. It's a huge win. It's the 11th win. It clinches a playoff spot. You came back from a deficit to win the game by losing the lead late. A lot of character stuff going on in this game to come through. I loved it, dude. This is a huge win, and I love that the team is starting to show what it's all about, and next week they'll add another W and make it even sweeter, dude. He says, love the play calling on the last offensive drive. Glad McDaniel fed Wilson. What a win. I agree. Alexis Palenzuela, thank you for the love on Venmo. Also, sir, playoff feels oh so good. 5 for 5 with Sanders. You are correct. Thank you, thank you. OJ Ojeda, thank you for the love on Venmo. Merry Christmas, Big O and Sean. What a win. I'm from Vegas. See you in February, sir. Skip Bayless will be epic on Monday. I can't watch that loser, but I get you. You're gonna enjoy watching him eat crow. So I totally get it, my man. I totally get it, man. And remember, Cash App or Venmo, that's Cash Big O Show, Cash Big O Show. And we say Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show, because we get 100% of the donation, whereas in the Super Chat, they take 30% on YouTube. Sam Cavison got a bigger ulcer, but now we can play these damn dirty birds in Baltimore without that damn pressure to win at all costs. I still think you got to win. Sam, I want my Dolphins team to finish the season 3-0. And you know what? What was it? Was it It was David that reminded me, and I forgot completely, my bad, that if Kansas City is running the table too, actually that last game puts pressure on Miami because they've got to win it in order to win out the number 1 seed, because Kansas City can take it away from them because of the tiebreaker. So I did not realize that, because I expect Baltimore to lose tomorrow and then lose to Miami next week, and then they're out of it. So it'll be down to Kansas City and Miami. Miami will have to actually beat Buffalo, which I like that. I want the Dolphins to exercise that demon. I want them to beat Buffalo. I want to send Buffalo home, and I want them to know that the division is the Dolphins from here on out. I want the Bills to go into an offseason where they didn't make the playoffs. They end up with 10 wins. They don't make the playoffs, but the Dolphins knock them out. They've got all kinds of cap issues now, and they've got incredible pressure as the Dolphins are on the rise, because we're not even done yet. They're just starting to do their thing. So, Sam, thank you for the love in the super chat. Next up, it is John Russell. What a way to start Christmas. Sanders good, but he's still not allowed back in the house. Have a great Christmas, Big O. Fins up. He was great today, man. He was great. We got to give him some love. He's got to do more. You know what I mean? Like, if he can finish this month and the playoffs playing like this, then we can say, okay, maybe he got over the hump finally and he's back. Next up is JIC. No 93, Miss Stojanovic field goal drive. Chubb to a Cheetah, A+++. Merry Christmas, Big O. Show from Canada. Thank you. Appreciate you. Next up, it is Dolphin Ronnie again. At least the bubble screen play you hate worked on the last drive, LOL. And notice how whenever Ramsey was put on Lamb, he was a non-factor. Fangio needs to match him up against number 1 wide receivers. Dude, the number 3 wide receiver burned him for a touchdown. Let's stop with that. Okay? Let's stop with that. You don't need to move him around at all. That X needs to play better, by the way. If anything, I'm a little concerned with X because he looked like dog shit. I hope he can get healthier. SFM Golf, thank you for the love and the super chat, sir. Very nice of you. Appreciate you. Gordon Shumway. Garfinkel needs to see how much better the team looks with the throwbacks. God, I hope they change the uniforms next year to something more like the throwbacks. It'll happen. My prediction, it'll happen at some point. Very near future, it's going to happen. I don't know what season it is, but I think they're on the brink of getting rid of the whale and going back. Anything else on the super chats? Nope. Okay. Super chats are wide open. Let's get to the chat board here. We'll get to when you got Tua or the coach, tell me, and we'll play that. We await Feronis. Roderick Freeman, you just sent in a super chat. Thank you, sir. Big O and Sean. Noche buena. What a great game and finish for Miami. Congrats to Miami for going to the playoffs. That's step 1. Step 2, win the AFC East. Big O, time to enjoy some lechon. There you go. Good for you. I already enjoyed my lechon. During halftime, we had a beautiful dinner with the family. So it was great. So I got my food in at halftime. And that was awesome. Let's see what we got here. Ho Yoon, thank you for the love on Venmo, my friend. Says Merry Christmas. Thank you. Also on Venmo, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Joe Cracchiola. Finn's got our Christmas present tonight. What a game. Merry Christmas, Big O and Sean. Love you guys and love the show. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for being so loyal to the program. Thank you all out there on a night where you could be with some of you with your families, because I know for Latin people, Noche Buena is very important. So I appreciate those of you spending some time with us here. Tom Wilson, thank you for the love on the super chat. Listening in Lawrenceville, Georgia, fans since the 70s. Merry Christmas to you and yours. And to your queen. Early playoff present. On to Baltimore. Amen, my friend. Amen. On to Baltimore. We need to win. Yes, Sean.
Got Tua.
You got Tua? All right, let's hear from the winning quarterback of your Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa.
I don't think I watched when Jason kicked it. I think I just walked onto the field with my hands up. I didn't even look at it. But when we took that final knee, that was really cool. I just think of the amount of work that it takes, to play a game week in and week out, to prepare for a really good team on Sunday. Every team is good. So to do that and then come out with a victory, a hard-fought victory, it makes it all worth it. And yeah, I think they played what they wanted to play early on, and then we started seeing them make some adjustments. Not with the second, not necessarily the second or third series, but as they found their rhythm with what they like to call defensively, with how they wanted to cover our guys and stop the run, they sort of mixed some other things in, but they were very sound. They play hard, so got to take these wins as they come.
That third down pass, it looked like you turned to him and maybe said something, maybe changed something right before the snap.
No, I'm just telling them what they probably already know. But the entirety of the game, or for most of the game, third downs, as we got closer into the red zone, they were trying to double Tyreek. So I basically just told them it was man. And so when Tyreek motioned over and they both ran over, Tyreek already assumed that, okay, it's man, but now I'm being doubled on this play. And so when Tyreek came back out, the guy watching him was trailing him. And, nobody wants to be behind Tyreek. So they're going to try to overplay it. And so when that happened and there was a screen, Tyreek was able to do what Tyreek does.
What can this win do for the confidence of this team going forward? You're 4 wins from the Super Bowl now. I mean, if you win 4 games, you're going to the Super Bowl.
I'm so proud of this team for continuing to come in, day out, and just work on their craft. I don't think anyone is necessarily worried about what anyone else is saying outside of the guys in the building. The confidence, everyone has confidence in each other and themselves. I don't think winning these games do anything more or anything less, but sort of reiterates the work that we put in and gives us the satisfaction that the work that we do put in, pays off, and we've seen it today.
Tua, when you come in on a drive like that and you need a field goal to win, or at least try to get a field goal, maybe use as much of the clock as possible, how do you manage being aggressive versus not making a mistake in that situation? How as a quarterback do you kind of manage those two things?
Well, I think around the league, everyone knows that 3 minutes and 20-something seconds is normal play for any quarterback. That's how we looked at it. We didn't have to do anything more than what was required for us during that play. We didn't have to take a shot if it wasn't necessary. As long as we got completions and we got the ball moving forward and they were positive plays, that's all we could have asked for.
To the win just clinches a playoff spot. How important is it to cement now that you're in the postseason tournament?
It's awesome. That's what we work hard for throughout the entirety of OTAs, training camp, and that's why you try to win as many games as you can early on in the season. But I don't think that changes our mindset as a team. I don't think we look at our next opponent or our schedule any different than how we have. We're going to continue to play our opponents the way we should play them, and that's hard. And we know we'll get their best. They know they'll get ours.
Tua, because of the narrative and not having beaten the team with a winning record going into the game in 15 months, did you not? Was that drive when you look back at it, kind of a must-score, defining drive for this team?
The way I look at it, man, I just continue to go back to the work that our guys put in, day out. Obviously, our defense didn't want to allow them to score, but that's how football works. As we're on the sideline, we were going through the scenarios of if they score, this is what we look to do. And if they don't score or if they do kick a field goal, here's, the scenarios that would need to happen. So, I'm just very proud of our guys. I'm just very happy that collectively we were all able to do something like that and show everyone, that we're fast, but our team is also very physical, and we can play with anyone.
How much better does a win make your family's Christmas?
I think it makes the Miami Dolphins families, everyone that's under the Miami Dolphins, I think it makes their Christmas a lot better. So everything's good when you're winning, huh?
Last question.
So you passed to Waddle. He eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark. So you have him and Tyreek over that markage. Can you just touch on that as far as, did you ever think that would be possible coming into the year?
Would I have thought that was possible? Yeah. But with the season that Tyreek's having, would I have been able to tell you that, the catches that Waddle was getting, that he'd eclipse it? No, but I think that should tell you a lot about those two guys. Competitive greatness when Tyreek was out, Jalen Waddle stepped up and did what he needed to do to help our team win that game. And you could see how happy Tyreek was for him. This game, Waddle's out, Tyreek's up. Like, every time Tyreek catches the ball, you can look on the sideline and you can see how happy Waddle is. And it's not just with Reek, it's with everyone, and with their, what they're doing with that success. And you can't leave someone like Raheem out, for things that he's battled throughout his career, things that he's had to go through. And so I'm very proud of those guys. I'm very proud of this team. I think that tells you a lot about the character that we have on this team and the men that we have. But, we'll enjoy this. Merry Christmas to everyone, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. There you go. Awareness for Tua is on the field, and the podium, in the locker room, at home with his family. It's awareness everywhere. Because and he's so quick on, it's not about him. Oh, well, what does it do for you to win? Well, what does it do for the entire Dolphin family? And the good thing about Tua is he's felt his own pain and feels ours. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? And one of the things that I was telling somebody in the building this week, I said, I think your guys want to be great. And there was, kind of kind of an agreement with me on that. And you see it. It's not a team that is selfish. It's not a team that is pouting, pointing fingers. Things go bad. They're getting all flustered, this, that. None of that ever happens. And it starts really with McDaniel, no matter sometimes even the wackiest calls that he could make. Somehow or another, it doesn't get this team even off kilter. And I think that the brutal honesty and the fact that you're allowed to be honest, and be yourself, has kind of really brought this team together, man. And you see it. He's right about that. Everybody's always happy about everybody else's success. I saw Gardner Minshew interview this morning. And there was a line that Minshew had, and there's a reason why Minshew's a guy that is always accepted in every locker room that he goes to, because he goes, I don't have to be bad for you to be good, and you don't have to be good. Yeah, I don't have to, or you don't have to be bad for me to be good, and me to be bad for you to be good. I can be good so you can be good, and you can be good so I can be good. It was one of those things. It's kind of that attitude that you can push each other to be better, instead of, oh crap, this guy got one more ball than I did. Oh crap, this guy's ahead of me in this, and that kind of bitterness and that kind of bullshit that goes on with some teams, none of that goes on this team. And I really feel like this is why I believe in this team. This is why it's just a matter of the process of learning how to do it now together. They've never done it. The coaching staff has never done it together. Sure, Vic Fangio has been part of winning teams, and Mike McDaniel's been part of winning teams, and Darrell Bevell's been part of winning teams, and Frank Smith has been part of winning teams. But collectively, they have not, as a unit together, as a coaching staff, have had any kind of great success in the playoffs. Okay? In fact, they just appeared in the playoffs last year, and now they're about to make their second appearance. See what I'm saying? So all of this is a learning process. And that's where the big picture, we all have to understand that. While Tyreek won a championship and so did Teron Armstead, that doesn't mean shit. Because they're not with those teams in that moment, that year that they won the title. No, they're with a completely different set of individuals. And collectively, all of these gentlemen have to learn how to win big. This was the first step. This is where you're thrusted into the spotlight and you get it and all that. And now you faced adversity. And my Lord, ladies and gentlemen, the injuries, Jesus. Do we ever get a break? Can we get a break here? I mean, it's Waddle with this. It's Waddle with that. It's Tyreek tweaking here. It's Teron Armstead falling on Mostert. People roll into the back of freaking Teron Armstead, and the poor man has no luck staying healthy, and he has even worse luck that people are rolling up on him, and it has nothing to do to him. It's not that he was injury prone. It's just somebody rolled up on the back of his legs, which could happen to anybody. And what are the chances that Raheem Mostert ends up getting tackled by his own tackle? The kind of shit that's been going on here lately, it's just stuff we cannot explain. And you sit there in the middle of this game going, honey, are we snake bitten? Did you move? You changed shirts. Why did you do that? He got injured. Yeah, this is us. All over the globe. Dolphin fans questioning themselves, their family members. I told you I want a beer in the second quarter. You see what happened? I need my beer in the second quarter. So this is the kind of shit going on. It's amazing. We're on the edge of our seats. X is getting burned. Jalen Ramsey gives up a touchdown. We're like, okay, wait a minute. It's third down. McDaniel decides, I won't leave it back. I'll give it an empty backfield for Tua. Blitz. You know, there was some stuff that went on throughout the game that you're like, Nick Needham, yo, bro, you can't cover my grandmother. You know, it's just stuff going on that you're like, wow, you know, adversity hit. And you overcame it, you know, and that's pretty cool because the excuses are not there. Everybody has injuries. Everybody misses people. Penalties are called left and right. It was a terrible call on Wilkins. It was a terrible call on the guy that Parsons that hit Tua right in the back. That wasn't a penalty. It's a brutal hit. Sucked that Tua got hit, but it really wasn't a penalty, dude. How can that guy stop in the middle of that play? You can't. Wilkins stopped. He opened up his arms. He tried to roll off of the guy and everything. Very athletic what Wilkins did, and he still got the call. That's because referees suck in this league. So it's not, you know, bad calls went both ways. All over the place. Just part of it. It was driving all of us crazy, you know? Let's see where are we at. Okay, next up, Mateo Dulio. AVG and Chubb played out of their minds. Yeah, dude. Both ended up with a sack and a half. AVG had 10 tackles, 7 solo. Chubb had 4, 3 solo. They were fantastic, man. They were absolutely fantastic. You are correct, Mateo. SFM Golf. Much love to Big O and Sean. It'll be interesting. The national narrative tomorrow. Excuses are coming. Who cares? Our team's got 11 wins. They're in control. take care of business next week against Baltimore. Make me really happy. Okay? Steve Kassan says, I'm so glad, Big O, for this, and we haven't been this good for this long for a long time, Big O. Thanks to Chris Greer getting Mike McDaniel, and thank you, Brian, for us drafting to her. That's all. Okay. Suds, thank you for the love in the super chat. Just finished my last minute gift wrapping. Like the Dolphins just wrapped up the game in the last minute. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thank you, Suds. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show, and you can make a Bitcoin donation at Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show, and you can send your questions and comments there. Ozzy Fisher, thank you for the love in the super chat. My wife asked me what I want for Christmas. I said nothing. Oh, wait. Yes, one thing. Vegas and watching my Fins win the Super Bowl. We're going to Tommy Rockers to experience it with my fellow Fins fans and Big O. Merry Christmas. You damn right. Damn right. Tommy Rockers is going to be packed. Brad Means, thank you for the love in the super chat, sir. Hopefully this game gives Sanders his swagger back. Hell yeah, dude. He better have all the swag now. Fish, thank you for the love in the super chat. Merry Christmas. Oh, man, I was not looking forward to you ripping McDaniel for not taking the points. Tua bailed him out big time. Yeah, that was not smart on his part. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat, my friends. Go Fins. Happy birthday to my wife, Sophie. Sophie Fresco. Happy birthday, Sophie. I hope the Dolphins brought you a little joy. I hope Leon came through big too. Okay? And if he didn't tell me, we'll straighten him out. Okay? All right, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Mark Jean Baptiste on Venmo. Thank you, sir. He put just win. That's awesome. Greg Sashi, as always, super loyal. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thank you. John Nazarene, again, very loyal. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas, Big O and Sean. Big time win. We got a real team. It's a beautiful thing. Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Thank you all out there, as always, man, for keeping it locked here and helping us. Tell me when you have McDaniel. We await Furones. Hopefully, Furones will be joining us soon. Jamie Zorria says, Big O, Sean, Fins Nation from San Jose. That was a playoff type of game and atmosphere. Stressful, but great win. Remember to smash the like button, people. Fins up. Big O, my heart was in my mouth. Christmas could not be better with a win. How about them Dolphins? I'm with you, Earl. Thank you, Earl. Appreciate you, man. Michael Abadi, looking forward to ESPN's BS on the 26th. Stack Johnson says, hey, Flo, suck it. Michael Credo says, so good to see my team run out the clock and score the winning field goal. It was textbook on how to close out a game, man. God, that was a thing of beauty. It made me so proud to watch the Dolphins come back and win this. And let me tell you something. If they can stack the next two wins, it'll be the greatest feeling we've ever had about the Miami Dolphins in over 35 years. Okay, folks? You know, that's the kind of territory these guys are messing with. They have an opportunity to do things, special things. And our Dolphins haven't been special in forever. What they just did now, they haven't even done this in decades. They never show up in these kind of moments. They fold in these kind of moments. They lose these kind of games. When Dallas takes the lead, normally you felt like, oh my God, we've got Ray Lucas. We've got John Beck. We've got Jay Cutler. We're done. You know, that's what we think of. That's what goes through our minds. For me, that did not go through my mind at all. I said plenty of time, and this is the stage that they need. And this is a great moment for them to prove it, because this is what we need. We actually don't, I know really a 45-3 game would have been fun. I get that. But then there's no real test. And then maybe we look at it like, wow, they had a great night, and then the Cowboys didn't show up and it was terrible. And then next week you're in a heater. You're in a bar fight. You're inside a phone booth fighting. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. That's what you want. These kind of moments, because these are the moments that our team never passes. So that's why today was just a thing of beauty. Even losing the lead was a thing of beauty because it was, all right, let's see if you guys are for real. Go. You were front running the whole time. 19-6 sounds really good, but now what you got? Now it's 19-20. Now you're losing. You've given up that entire lead. Let's go. And they got it done. And you and I know that normally toast. Absolute toast at that moment. We have no confidence. I didn't look at it that way. I was excited about it. I was going, okay, good. Let's go. Show me. And boy, Jason Sanders showed us today. If this is Jason Sanders with this offense, you become that much more potent. Okay? And he's hitting the 50-plus yarders, which you and I know that in this league, you've got to be able to stroke the 50-yarders like it's going out of style. I'm not saying 57, 59. Those are a little harder, but the 52s and 54s and the 55s, you got to be able to stroke those. And he was stroking. He was stroking to the left and a stroking to the right. Do we have Mike McDaniel? No? Okay. Now we do have Eduardo Blasco chiming in on the super chat. Thank you. Big O, tell Ravi the Dallas sucks. Okay, we'll tell him. We'll tell him that Dallas sucks. They came up a little short today. Vinny Lenya, what will be the narrative now? The Dolphins are on the rise. IT Respect, thank you for the love in the super chat. Merry Christmas, Big O and crew. It's Christmas morning in Australia, 11 a.m., and what a present from McDaniel. 2 and the whole team. Appreciate this space always. Thank you, sir. And, dude, thank you. Listening all the way out there in Australia and keeping it locked. Dr. Ronnie Katz, yeah, baby. Boca jaw surgery. Merry Christmas, Big O. Huge win. Almost had a heart attack. But you got the win, baby. You got the win. That's all that matters, Doc. That's all that matters right there. Ronnie Katz, stud. Dolphins must win next week or this game means nothing. Not really, because you could beat Buffalo the following week. If you win 2 of 3, that's not that bad. I don't want to lose to Baltimore, but if you winning this game now, I'm not going to be a phony. I told you, no worse than 2-1 down the stretch. Okay? You got to win one of the next 2. You can't go 1-2. I need 2-1 or 3-0. So I wouldn't go as far as you're saying that the game means nothing. Hey, you don't get the first seat. See, you make it sound like the Dolphins are Kansas City and they're entitled to the first seed because they're the best team in the league and they got to do it every year. They haven't even gotten to that point. They're in the playoffs. Okay, that's their job. Now you got to try to win the division, which is still very winnable. Even if you lose against Baltimore next week, you can still win the division. So I have to disagree with you, my brother. You're acting like some kind of spoiled, entitled Shula fan. That's how we used to act in the 70s and the 80s, when we felt like we were entitled to the division and entitled to a bye week because we were constantly one of the best teams in the league. That's different. You don't have the right to feel like that yet. Not even close. Big O is happy when he sings out of nowhere. Exactly. Big O, have we finally taken the fraud label off our backs? No, not yet. Still got to finish out the year here. You lose the next two, it would be devastating. So let's at least win one of next two or win the next two, and then we're feeling a lot better. Almost there. Vinny Lenya again. Does Miami clinch the division with a W next week? Yes, they do. Yeah, because they would be 2 games ahead of the Bills. So it doesn't matter what happens next week. Now, next week matters for the number 1 seed. If Kansas City continues to win, then Miami and Kansas City would be tied record-wise. They would get the number 1 seed. So the number 1 seed is still on the line next week if Kansas City continues to win. Okay? That's kind of the deal. Pat in Asheville, thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. Win next week changes the last 30 years. Does Dr. Katz do heart consults? No, but I can talk to Dr. Sanabria, okay, at Baptist Health, and he can help you because he helped me with my heart. But you won't need it. We'll take care. We'll take care of Lamar Jackson and that rinky-dink little passing game of his this week. Okay, don't worry about it. Have faith on that end, that they'll handle that. Marco Ferrante, thank you for the love on Cash App. For Merry Christmas to you and your family. Clutch win. Thank you, Marco. I appreciate you. Very nice. Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Thank you. Do we have McDaniel yet? No. Okay. All right. Find out what's going on with Furones. What's the deal with Furones?
I'm sure he's still in with the McDaniel 30-minute press conference going on.
Oh, that's what it is. He's with McDaniel. And McDaniel has those long, drowned-out press conferences where he thoroughly answers questions in 8 different layers, and there's pregnant pauses and stuff like that. So, yeah, I got you. Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense right there. Okay. Makes a whole lot of sense. By the way, where's Bitcoin at right now? 43,000. Love it. Dolphins just sealed Mike McCarthy's job next year as a used car salesman in Hialeah. Buy here, pay here. Lou. I still have that cold, so when you make me laugh, he's back next year. I think he's back next year. He's a good puppet for the owner, so I think he's back next year. Seti says fraud label comes off when we beat Buffalo in a meaningful game and win a playoff game. I mean, that's pretty fair. Winning a playoff game should completely take that label off. Yes. Yeah, you're right about that. Mike Moynihan says, big win, but let's be honest, there's work to do to beat the Ravens. Don't get too high or too low. Mike, I got to tell you something. I'm not sure what a lot of you are looking at. So let me ask you, Mike, just out of curiosity, how much better is this team than the Dolphin team that beat the Ravens 2 years ago when Tua came off the bench to replace Jabroni Brissett in a game where Tua did not practice the entire week? They told him to go play golf because they didn't want him around. Remember that? And then Jabroni gets a little banged up. He goes out of the game, and they put Tua in and kind of kept him in there, and he brought him back, right? Right? So is the team not better this year than it was last year? I mean, 2 years ago? Not last year. Even last year, they're better than last year's team because they've got Fangio and they've got Jalen Ramsey, and, so think about that, okay? And they don't have Mark Andrews, which they had Mark Andrews 2 years ago, okay? So I'm trying to wonder, where is this illusion that the Ravens are such an enormous, amazing, phenomenal team when the Dolphins have beat them twice the last 2 years with a deadbeat coach and down by 21 last year. 21 was here, right? Yeah, it was here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Why are the Ravens something that you fear or something? Not exactly sure. I mean, can Miami lose to the Ravens? Yeah, of course they could. They could lose to anybody. Obviously, they lost to Tennessee. But the last 2 years, I saw a lesser Dolphins team 2 years ago beat the Ravens. Why couldn't a much better Dolphins team now? Why is it such this threat? Not exactly sure. Are you guys still used to Baltimore beating Miami all the time? Or do you remember that Miami has beaten Baltimore the last 2 years? I'm not exactly sure here what's going on. Because the game that I have the most confidence in is Baltimore over the Dallas and the Buffalo game. Like, I'm completely different than you guys in that sense. So I'm trying to understand, why are you so scared of Baltimore? Is it the media that lies to you constantly and they tell you that Lamar Jackson is like this incredible quarterback or something, and it's really not true? I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't know where the fear for the Ravens comes from. Are you like going back for 4 and 5 and 8 years when they used to punch you in the mouth? Because they've been punched in the mouth the last 2 years. Just trying to really understand why all of a sudden there's a group of Dolphin fans that are like nervous about the Ravens. Just trying to figure that one out. Like, Tua's, he beats the Ravens. Even with bad coaches, he beats the Ravens. With no offensive line, he beats the Ravens. With no running game, he beats the Ravens. It's kind of weird. I really don't understand the fear of the Ravens from some of you. It's not earned. God's child, thank you for the love in the super chat, my friend. Merry Christmas from Hawaii, Big O. How about Sanders? I am speechless when it comes to Jason Sanders, my friend. Speechless. Cowboy fans are going to sleep like a baby tonight, waking up every 2 hours, crying, soiled, scared. Yeah, well, they really kind of go through it. The Ravens ain't shit. Some of you keep drinking this Lamar Jackson Kool-Aid, who is one of the biggest chokers ever in big games. An athlete, not a QB. He has no accuracy. Just watch it, and you'll see that. Ravens Mitchell out for the season. Yeah, that happened a couple of weeks ago. Poor kid. What else do we have? 21 points down was on the road. Yep, 21 points down, and they came back and won. Oh, Tua's Lamar Jackson's daddy. That's right. Ravens are overrated, but they're physical. I think we are better than Buffalo. It's just mental. I agree with that one. Bills beat KC when they had a 14-day break to the Chiefs' 6-day. Bills beat Cowboys after their emotional win over the Eagles, and Bills beat a horrible Chargers team by 2. Not really worried. But you know what, Mark? At least with the Buffalo Bills, I am concerned because our boys haven't gotten over that hump. I used to be worried about the Ravens because they were too physical for Miami. That doesn't happen anymore. That's the thing. That's why I don't understand the fear of the Ravens from some of you Dolphin fans. I really don't understand it. Lamar Jackson's been playing good football lately. Todd, what my problem with most of you is you really don't watch the games. You actually need to watch an entire Lamar Jackson game, and you'll see he'll make a couple little throws that he does because he's an athlete, but he'll miss a lot of throws. They keep the offense very simple. That passing game is very simple. He's not throwing through a bunch of windows. He's not throwing through multiple layers of the defense. It's a very remedial passing offense. Okay? The problem is that people don't watch it. They actually really don't watch the games and watch them actually play the game, the position of quarterback, and just watch it, and then you'll come up with a different opinion if you watch it in its entirety. But if you want to condense and they show you a couple of his highlights and then you think that's the game, it's really not. But you can go ahead and do it if you want. But, you know. So, yeah, I know Lamar won an MVP and so did Cam Newton. And that gets you what, bro? I love how everybody uses that. Yeah, athletes will wow you, my brother. Doesn't make you a great quarterback. Cam Newton won an MVP too. Oh, by the way, he did something Lamar couldn't do. He carried a team all the way to the Super Bowl. That's a pretty good athletic feat. Something Lamar couldn't do. And he's still not a good quarterback. Neither one will ever be a good quarterback. But you go ahead. He won the MVP. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, Sean. I always love that lazy line that people say. He won the MVP. I love you, man. 1,005 homes, but that shit don't fly here, bro. Yes.
Have McDaniel's 18-minute marathon.
All right, we'll play a few minutes. We'll see if there's some good stuff. We'll continue. If he's just babbling like he does a lot of times, then we'll babble right off. Let's go. Fire away.
Is that the time? What time is it?
Definitely not 2:46.
A little later.
Oof. All right. This is all a mess. What do you guys got?
What does this mean to you and the team?
It means we won our 11th game. It means that the team isn't crazy for feeling the way they feel. I think specifically since I've been in the National Football League, I think the experience for players has changed with the advent and heavy push of social media. I think it's really hard to ignore the noise, so to speak, or not hear it. I think you're going to hear it. And so it's impossible for people not to know that all of the things that we're not capable of doing. But what I'm proud about I'm proud for this team because regardless of what people say, you have to get to a mode where you're solely worried about doing your job and being responsible for that with your teammates. And anything else, you get distracted and lose focus on what actually matters. So I thought this is a big win for this team because it's always big when you do something that internally you know that you're capable of. And when it comes to fruition, it's pretty satisfying. I think that a lot of their training, I think a lot of the season came out tonight. I don't think, I think there's really cool results when people persevere through tough times and don't let tough times wear you down too much. Nobody on this team thought we were going to lose that game, and that's pretty cool when everyone tells you that you can't do X, Y, or Z. So that's what that is. That's a win against a really good team that is tough to beat. Just in general, that has playoff experience for the last several years. But then it's like, awesome, check that box. Let's get as healthy as we can, and let's go play the Baltimore Ravens. So we'll be fully on that tonight. I think it's just satisfying to have an earned victory that took everybody. And I thought there was, from the beginning of the game to the end, from Deshaun Elliott, making that stop on the goal line that gave us another down, and we got the turnover all the way down to, there's just to the plays that were made on the final drive. And then, I thought it was very fitting that for a game that people, our locker room's filled with they said you can't. Filled with guys that have been told they can't. One of which is Jason can't make 50-yard field goals. So that's what it's about, is taking things into your own hand, working to be the best version of yourself, cutting no corners, and you get results like that in a high-stakes game with a lot of pressure on. This team was fully confident and knew it would take all 60 minutes. So it's a cool one to be a part of. That I think a lot of the guys are happy because their Christmas isn't ruined.
327, I think you take over at -25. What is your mindset there aside from getting field goal range?
I was excited to see which phase was going to win the game. I wasn't going to count our defense out for a second, and I wasn't going to count our offense out either. And the second that they scored the touchdown and went up by 1, I was happy for the opportunity, because I know you have to figure out a way to win in those moments to have the season that you want. So it was. I was pumped. I was very confident that our guys would execute, and I think we got. It was cool that we had. We matriculated down the field. Their pass rush was real, and we were able to get into scoring position, and then to be able to convert, to get first down, to get. It epitomizes what the Dolphins are. Jeff Wilson comes in and fights for the yardage that allows us to kneel down and kick a field goal. That is happening all over the place in all 3 phases, which is why you're seeing a team that is playing very hard for each other each and every week. So many guys are contributing. So many guys are stepping up with injuries, and that's the most fun football to be a part of.
Tell us about the decision to go screen to Tyreek on the 3rd and 3.
I was trying to get Tyreek the ball. Isn't that novel? I was picking the play that I thought you guys would second guess the strongest if it didn't work. You're going through. It was a nice discourse. I was pumped about our offensive coaching staff. We kind of went back and forth with a couple different calls, and then as we thought about it, where we were on the field, and kind of the look that Tyreek had in his eye, he's got to a place where he knows when a defense is fully committing all of their resources to stopping him, and it's not frustrating him. He's just trying to find his moments to do something great. That is something that is not easy to do, especially when he's put as much pressure on yourself as he does. But you want to talk about something confident. If we had, as long as we had someone in between the first primary defender and him, he was going to find a way to get those yards. So I thought it was well executed.
All right. There is the coach. Nothing really earth-shattering, but, stuff. It's good to hear positive vibes. And he's right. The team is filled with the guys that have been told they can't do it, from Austin Jackson to Tua to Jason Sanders to Mike McDaniel to you name it, right? Raheem Mostert, all these kind of cats, Jeff Wilson. So there are a bunch of guys, that have been kind of told that they can't do things. And it is a beautiful thing to watch the determination of a Raheem Mostert, who, again, scores today and adds his 21st touchdown of the season, 3 through the air now. Overall, 18 on the ground. And obviously watching Tua, who, by the way, went 24 of 37 for 293 yards and a touchdown. So he threw for more yards than Dak. Dak got more touchdowns. He got 2 touchdowns to 1. Dak was 20 of 32 for 253. Tua was 24 of 37 for 293. Kind of the same type of numbers overall. Raheem Mostert, 11 for 46. He also added 1 for 4 yards, including the 1-yard touchdown run in the process. Devon Achane had 7 rushes for 24 yards. He also had 1 reception for 7. Tyreek Hill was the leading receiver, 9 for 99. Durham Smythe had a hell of a game, 5 for 56. Waddle had 1 catch for 50. And Cedric Wilson, who's become a bigger part of the offense lately, 3 for 42. With Waddle getting banged up, they needed Wilson a little bit more. Chosen, by the way, did have 1 catch for 19 yards. He also was checked out for a concussion, too, in the process. CeeDee Lamb was the leading receiver for Dallas, 6 for 118 and a touchdown. Jalen Tolbert had 2 for 51. And Jake Ferguson, 4 for 45. And Brandon Cooks, 2 for 14 for a touchdown, which was the one he got on Ramsey, actually, in the end zone. Tony Pollard led the way on the ground for the Cowboys, 12 for 38 yards. And Pollard also had 1 reception for 5. So, again, it kind of reminds you of the Kansas City game, that there weren't a lot of plays to be made. And let me tell you, early on, Tua's in the end zone, and he throws that beautiful bomb to Tyreek Hill, dude. That was 7 that Tyreek ended up dropping right there. And then Tua hit another bomb in that drive. They ended up at least with a field goal. That was the first 50-yarder. What was it? 57 was that first one that he made on that drive there, but he had those 2, the other one to Waddle in that first drive. Those were 2 clutch throws in the end zone for Tua, dude. I mean, for the people that talk about, because, you know, we still have those idiots that'll tell you, oh, Tua only throws 5-yard passes, and here he is in the first drive of the game in the end zone, and he's firing away 2 beautiful money bombs right in the hands of both receivers. Unfortunately, Tyreek dropped the first one. Waddle was able to hang on to the second one. Poor Waddle, dude. Man, he has no luck. I mean, even getting poked in the eye. It was such an awkward play to get poked in the eye, too. It's just weird how our Finns don't really get a lot of breaks sometimes. It's like when bad shit happens, it'll just happen, dude. You can't do anything about it. Carolina Acosta, thank you for the love on Cash App or Venmo. She sent it on Cash App. Merry Christmas. Thank you. And Fins up. I appreciate it, Carolina. Thank you. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin donation, as some have made a Bitcoin donation today. Let's see. Next up on the Super Chat is Dino94. Didn't notice we got a new kicker, man. This guy's a baller. And give Liam Eichenberg some credit, too. Butch Berry was the best hire this offseason. Him and Fangio, of course. But, yeah, Butch Berry has done a marvelous job, dude. Excellent job by Butch Berry. Yeah, and Liam Eichenberg, man, I mean, overall, the line has been terrific. We have watched them develop all kinds of linemen, and I just would not be surprised if Liam Eichenberg ends up becoming a starter for this team in the long run. I really wouldn't be surprised. He has grown up a lot, and I think he's only going to get better under these guys. If he can finally settle in on a position and allow himself to grow, it would be nice. You know what I mean? But the poor guy gets, they're constantly moving him around. Gink had good numbers and knocked down a pass too. I thought he was going to find that one and take it home, right? It looked like Dak kind of like held him a little bit, and he kind of got lost in a way and didn't really know where the ball was at. But you're right. It was one of those where he was close to snuffing that thing out, and he would have juggled it and ran with it and gone for a touchdown, at that point. I'm going to give Dak credit today. I know he gets the choking label, and he's earned that and all that kind of stuff. He played his ass off today, man. He came up short, Tua and the boys came out with the victory. They were the better team today, but can't necessarily say the guy was terrible. He played his ass off today. Give people credit when they deserve it, man. That's you've got to be fair. The whole team had that luck, Big O. Yeah, we had all kinds of bad luck today. Mostert now number 15 all-time for running back total TDs in a season. Tomlinson is number 1 with 31. Yeah, he was my keeper in that season. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Todd Jones, thank you for the love in the super chat. Great to see the use of the tight end against the zone D. I agree. All right, folks, we are out of here. We thank Sean Stanley. As always, we thank every one of you for tuning in and keeping it locked here and supporting us as always. We'll see you on Tuesday, okay? I'll see if I can catch up with some of the guys here on Monday or something like that. Maybe Furones will catch up or do something and catch up and get a little post-game report with him. And maybe we'll do it tomorrow or the next day or some stuff like that. But we'll try and catch up with him. We thank all of you for tuning in, all of you that sent in a super chat. Whenever you're listening to the postgame show, you can also send in a Cash App or Venmo at any time. Whenever you're listening or watching any of the shows, send in your questions, comments, insults, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Hopefully this week, by the way, everything should be finalized. We should have merch for the show also. So that's going to be pretty cool too. We'll see you all on Tuesday. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This has been the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Show. From home to kitchen to bathroom additions and remodelings. Get in contact with one of the best contractors in the business. Call Eric at EJDConstruction.com. 305-433-4843. Please subscribe to our platform by searching Big O Radio Show on all digital avenues. On behalf of all our staff, we thank you for supporting us. Have a fantastic week.